All right, everybody, welcome back to the Slim and Bone Show with your host Adam Shibashevsky and Chris Kearns. We've been on about a year and a half hiatus, and what better time to come back than during this COVID-19 pandemic? Tonight we're going to talk about the Last Dance that featured Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls from 1998 season. And then we'll get into the Eagles draft and Jalen Hurts with the second pick in the draft. And then we're going to talk MLB, and me and Chris have a slightly different opinion on who was right and who was wrong with the owners and players. And then to finish out, we're going to wrap up with the Philly 500 this weekend on WMGK here in Philadelphia. Chris is going to give his top 10 songs. Not included are the Beatles, because Chris will just have top 10 Beatles songs, without a doubt.
Close
big
to
Beatles advocate.
Close to it. All right, so let's get straight into it. It's been a long time, huh? You said a year and a half. Is that exactly right? I know I had no idea. I know a lot of things have changed.
It's got to be a year and a half. We 2 years? A year and a half sounds about right.
I got kicked out of the old studio, so we're not there anymore, right? We haven't recorded. We haven't recorded since I moved out.
No, we recorded at that house that you're in now.
Not often then. Not that, maybe once or twice.
We did a couple times.
Well, then shows you how spotty my memory is getting. So first thing off the bat, do you want to do Bulls or you want to do MLB? Because I actually didn't see the last two episodes of the Bulls doc, but I absolutely have a good grasp for it and feel like we can discuss it, because what I sent you yesterday, and I think it's one of the biggest flaws of the Jordan documentary that everyone's been watching the last 5 weeks, is obviously Jerry Krause is a dead man, can't defend himself. He got drugged for at least 10 hours long, at least 3 hours of that fucking documentary. And then again, I heard we saw his kids yesterday, but we never even saw Jordan's wife. So tell me, I loved it. I love all the live footage. I love hearing all the stories, fabricated or not. But tell me why that wasn't just one big Michael Jordan advertisement. Just like you would see those Taylor Swift documentaries on Netflix, they're big one advertisements for Taylor Swift.
Well, of course it's going to be basically about him, because if it wasn't for him, that whole show doesn't happen. The Bulls team is probably relevant, and because of him, it just made it what it was. And him being like his team being in there, okay, that's one thing, but I think it was pretty true to what, like, all the footage. He had stories to back it up, whatever he said, and there was a couple things that were bad. There was some things that I thought they could have dug into more. The gambling, I don't think they dug into enough.
I feel like everything I knew about Jordan then, I just feel like I didn't learn too much, nothing that's too new. If anything, there's more questions. I don't think they answered any questions, like you said, especially the gambling. I don't know anything about Jordan's personal life. He's apparently still. I saw Charles Barkley was doing an interview, and they're still feuding from way back in the day over some nonsense. So
that was post the Last Dance.
That was post the Last Dance?
Yeah, that was as Jordan as an executive. He said Jordan, he won't be a good executive if he keeps on hiring like his buddies and shit like that.
Right. All the yes.
And Jordan thought if he was to say that, he should have said it to him personally, not on the air, because Barkley is basically an analyst, so that is his job. But I guess they thought their friendship was good enough to keep that stuff in house.
Yeah. This documentary seemed like it was made by a bunch of yes men. Even Jordan before it came out said, "You guys are going to hate me. Hate him for what? Like, what's the worst thing that he did in that entire documentary? Curse during practice or like yell at these guys, which they all." The big thing was, what did you make? What did you make of the whole him crying at the end of the one episode? I didn't think that was anything.
I guess it.
When he's talking about being.
I guess it showed like he kind of felt bad that he was so tough on them, but he knew he had to be. And I think I think it was needed.
I don't think he's mad that he's tough on him. The only thing I could think of is when you are tough on someone, sometimes you take it too far. And
yeah,
I'm sure
I think
he had one or two
that
lines,
now.
talked about, made something too personal, whatever. But that's nothing to. That doesn't make you hate Jordan or make me hate Jordan. I don't see him in a worse light after this at all. I don't know. Like I said, I'll watch the last. What were the last two episodes about? Because me and you, I saw the dude. I think his name was Sam Smith. Jerry Krause. I don't know if the book came out or not. I don't think it ever came out. But he wrote a whole little passage on actually how pretty much his defense of breaking up the team, and it's a simple defense. They knew Jackson wasn't coming back. Without Jackson, Jordan wasn't coming back. So it was like he never had the chance to. There was never no option to extend Jackson because Jackson was always going to take a year off, and Jackson was never going to be part of a lesser team. And in my opinion, that seems like a fair criticism because if there's one criticism I remember from watching Jackson back in 2001 through what happened besides the whole Knicks is he won with Scottie and Jordan, who were great winners, and then he went to the Lakers with two other top 20 guys, top 10 guys to most people, and he won there. So to me, Phil Jackson's a great coach, but he never developed a team, if you ask me. Not to the point to where he saw a rebuild through. Like, look at Greg Popovich now, you know. At least he's staying with the he probably could and levels and look, Krause is going to not be a GM, not do his fucking job. If anything, you understand why they would have traded Scottie and such. Everyone's banging on Jerry Krause for the Scottie Pippen deal, and honestly, that's the best GM move ever. That was going on right now. Everyone on Twitter will be blowing this guy. I mean, Grant, I get it. He has a stroke face, and it looks fucking terrible.
Sorry, but you broke up that whole thing, and I didn't understand you. So our listeners out there, I don't know if you will be able to hear that once we post this, but we are doing a Zoom right now, doing this podcast, doing our best social distancing efforts.
Right.
So you got to start all over. Not start all over, but
I don't think
you were talking about
over.
Like
I think the audio is going to get picked up regardless. Zoom's going to pick up the audio clear. So even if we break up, our connection's bad, the Zoom audio should be fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna this is the beta model, the test run. We're gonna have the social media accounts fired up by the time you see this. We're gonna have the YouTube channel fired up, and we'll have downloadable links on all of our social media for you to listen to the audio if you're driving or working from home. But now when you're home, you can just put me and Bones on your big screen, and we'll be right there in your living room with you.
So I kind of heard like some of the stuff you were saying, but I think you need to watch last night's episode to get a better feeling of it.
Right.
Because they talk more about it. But I think, like you said, that Phil Jackson was not coming back either way, and Jordan wasn't coming back either way without Phil or whatever. But what I think you're missing is that it was pretty well known that Krause wanted to break the team up after the 98 season. And it started with Phil Jackson. With Phil Jackson getting a one-year deal. But before he even got the one-year deal, it was already known that, like, Jerry Krause was looking at Tim Floyd
Right.
from Iowa State, I think he came from. He was coaching then.
Yeah, that's
like, to
true.
where they
He was
had
definitely
like a friendship, and I think Jackson might have came back if all that stuff didn't leak that they wanted to rebuild. Because I think that before the season, they should have said, if you win, we're going to try to bring you back. If you don't win, we're going to have to go like in a different direction. The time is probably up. Because if they lose, pretty sure Jordan probably just retires anyway. But that whole thing, I just think it was like a bad move. I thought they should have tried to keep that team together, because I think they probably could have won another year in '99.
But
because with
it
the
seems like that
lockout, they would have
night-
had a bigger extent. Like Pippen had time to recover, Jordan had a lot of time to recover, because they played a lot of games in that 3-year stretch, more than anybody else in the league.
Well, Krause's
And
argument
basically
was,
for 8 years.
Krause's argument was going into that strike shortened year before they knew it was even going to be strike shortened. Was it 99 or was it 98?
99.
99.
98, 99 season.
They knew that whole season would have been one of the heaviest. Jordan would have had to carry that team more so than he's had throughout a lot of his teams throughout his career, especially the last 3 years. They were going to lose Luke Longley. They were going to lose Dennis Rodman. Scottie Pippen was. They weren't going to resign Scott. You can't max out Scottie Pippen after those 2 injuries.
No, but they talked about it. Jordan talked about it last night. If you would have said to Scottie Pippen,
playing hero ball.
If you would have said to Scottie Pippen, 1 year to go for number 7, do you think he would have did it? I think he would have. Jordan thinks he would have. I think they would have did it. No, not after everything happened. I think I was basically shot.
I mean, yeah, it's not after.
And it talks about Jordan. Jordan basically ended himself coming back because he cut his finger on a cigar cutter.
Yeah.
And he was unable to come back.
Right. He was unable to come back for that. But that was afterwards. But before, been screwed over so many times. He was not signing a 1-year deal. There's no way. And there's no way, especially after those 2 injuries. So there's no way Pippen signing a 1-year deal to come back and play. There's just no way. Not after getting.
Yeah, but they would have been able to trade him.
He needed a guarantee paid.
Yeah, if they could have signed a contract, they would have been able to trade him.
Able to trade him. They would have been fucking screwed for next. I mean, they've been shot since, but not because of that specifically.
No, but you can't. Jerry Krause had the right mindset that at some point you got to rebuild, but I don't think you can do that after a team just won 3 championships in a row, and if Jordan doesn't retire, they probably win 8 in a row. I just think you got to let it play out until the run's over.
I don't know. I mean, logically, I think what Krause did make sense. It doesn't, and it seemed like they knew the run was over going into that next year. It does not seem like they would have been as good as the previous 6 years, and they knew there was chip in the armor. And like you said, go out on top. How many people get to do that?
And I was surprised last night Scottie Pippen gave Krause credit.
Yeah, did he? What did he say?
Yeah, he said he was arguably the best GM in basketball history.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of credit. Um, I was I was talking to my cousin about same thing. If the Bulls got that 7th year, could they have won it? And a couple weeks ago, I said, yeah, no doubt. Like I didn't know the situations and the circumstances of these players. And then after reading, like I said, that Sam Smith excerpt on Krause's book that never got published is, I mean, it makes perfect sense. How that there was, even if they got out of the East, it's hard to say they were going to beat the Spurs. You know, like I'm not able to make those conclusions for sure. So there's no way I'm penciling them in for a 7th or even getting to a 7th final in a row.
Well, according to Shaq, that title for the Spurs never happened.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I understand. I mean, but it did. So it was just a different year that year, not the norm.
But overall, I thought that that was a great documentary.
Oh, it's awesome. It was so much. I'm up. 10 hours is a lot, right? But yeah, I would like to. I wonder how it would have been. What was the original game plan with that? Were they going to release? Was it going to be like? Was it always going to be a 5-part weekend thing?
No, it was just like an eventual documentary. Oh, or do you mean like?
How were they going to release it? Was it going to be like all? I guess ESPN was always going to do 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to start until last night.
Oh shit!
But since
Okay.
with all this going on,
They just pushed it up. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. They left a lot on the bone. I mean, it was great. The footage is great. But, man, there's so much about Michael Jordan I wish I knew more about. And there's a lot. There's a lot there. A lot. And to be frank, when they were dragging him for his dad passing, that's completely wrong. You know, you don't do that after that kind of stuff happens. But then again, what was that dude's name? Slim Boogie or something? There was zero chance that was all golf games. Like, there's no way that a degenerate gambler is betting everything besides pro sports. So that's the thing people have to understand. Michael Jordan, if he's betting that much and he's that competitive and he thinks he knows that much, he is 100% pro sports, meaning the Big Four in some fashion.
Wait, did they say he wasn't betting sports?
No, they just didn't say anything. Right?
Yeah,
they don't
he
say
was
anything.
betting sports.
Well, that's part of it, to where David Stern comes on and he's like, "Nah, never heard anything about him betting sports." You know, like they did. It was about that 10 hours. That the David Stern questioning on gambling was 45 seconds. He like left it off. Gives like, "There's no way I ever knew." Like, that's crazy to think. Blah blah blah. Very convincing, and then so forth. But yeah, it was great. I'm happy it got done. They're saying ESPN's now pumping out more. I hear there's a Lance one.
That's starting Sunday.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's already ready. Damn. I wonder what they're gonna. Because
they got the holiday one next week.
The Lance documentary, it's good to do one now, but they got to do one 30, 40 years from now, so people remember how big of a cultural thing that was. Obviously no one gives a fuck about the Tour de France. I mean, it's kind of cool. It kind of got America into it. I remember like being younger, and he was like a beast at going uphill or whatever. So he would always take the lead late, you know. Then he would have the yellow shirt, and that was definitely a huge cultural thing for 7 years. Every summer, you knew you can check Sports Center and Lance Armstrong would either be losing from the Tour de France and about to get to the hills and take first place and never give up the orange coat or the yellow jacket. And then with the cancer thing and the wristbands, I mean, how many people, even till this day, you see those yellow wristbands? The first one was Livestrong. So I'm pumped for this one, but they got to really make sure they do one years from now when everyone really forgets about them. Because people are going to forget 7 Tour de France's in a row. That's a lot. Like he was in the best athlete in the world conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider a bike rider an athlete, but
Yeah, well, fucking, let's see you ride a bike. You're gonna
just guys that
walk like a cowboy
bike riders, surfboarders, shit like that. They're guys that couldn't hack it in the real sports world.
Surfboarding and bike riding are different, much different. These guys are riding they're like in the French Alps, bro.
Still not a sport, dude.
Surfing's not in the Olympics, right? Is bike riding, like triathlon stuff? They definitely have bikes.
So the other thing, what was I just going to say?
I don't know, but what's been happening during Rona season? I mean, we're separated today, but we've been we're a week. We're obviously we're in Philadelphia. They're saying June 6th, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what I think.
June 6th, but they want you to go. But polling places are open June 2nd. Go figure.
Right.
They're trying to jam the mail-in ballot down your throat.
Yeah, it's funny because the stuff with the mail-in stuff has never changed. You can always mail-in vote, or you can just walk to the polling place. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I've been getting text messages out there. I want to sign up for it. No. I mean, should I sign up for it in case fucking whatever the powers that be decide we all have to mail-in vote for some reason? If that happened, that would be your cue to get out of America, and then make sure everyone fucking voted via mail. When's the last time you
check
mail
where
something?
you're voting. You got to check where you're voting at too, because it changed. Not all the polling places are open.
Yeah, but I mean, at least in our neighborhood, we're in
Probably
Middle
go to
City.
Sion.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Hopefully not. I was around the corner. It's funny. Hopefully, if my polling place moves, it used to be on the corner of my block. Then it went to around the corner. If it moves to Sion, I don't know, man. I mean, why is my polling place getting further and further?
It's just for this time, at least. I got to go to Cahock.
Right. You're saying it's different because of the
Yeah,
virus?
they want to open less places, yeah.
Jesus Christ. So stupid. Why? That's more people want more places, right? Isn't more places good?
Yeah, but you have more workers are saving money that way, probably.
I can't believe the people who are like on our Twitter feeds supporting the mayor right now. If they're the same people that support the sugar tax and thought the sugar tax was going to go to preschools, so they're the same people now saying, "Congratulations, Becky, you're following the science. Thanks." No, they're the same fucking people, and they're fucking clueless. So let's. Well, Bones for up, he's back. Yes, so like I said, this is a beta run. We're trying. Apple's pinching our nipples with the URL, and I'm no production guy. So if anyone knows how I can make a Zoom video, I think it's the URL or the RLL feed, whatever. I don't have it for the Zoom videos. So if I get that, I can then put it up to Apple. But I'm pumped to be back. We're going to be having the website where next week we're going to be bringing back the commercials and the sponsors. And again, just like before, we're here to work and perform in front of you guys. Bones, in this year and a half, Bones now has 2 kids, a house, and an official old lady that lives with him. I'm single slim now, and maybe we'll be diving into that world. I can now give out tips, dating tips, Corona pickup lines. But I don't know. What do you think? You think people pretty much shacked up for once this happened? You think there's going to be a lot of Corona babies, right, Bones?
They actually said that's probably going to be down because people don't. Yeah, because people don't want to they don't know what's going to happen with having a kid at hospitals to where,
Are you serious?
so
Ugh.
getting sick. Yeah. So
But that's not going to stop.
studies have
That's not
shown
going to
that
stop people.
people don't want to have kids, at least willingly.
Yeah, I must say that tells me that a lot more people are planning kids than I know. You know, because all the people I know that have a lot of people that I know that are having kids, they're just having sex, and and if they're home all day, it's just natural. There's I don't know, I haven't met anyone yet who actually, or not that I'm aware of, that actually plan for a kid via counting period cycles and family budgets.
Yeah. Our
Right? Do
first
you know
one was
any?
planned, but I wouldn't say the same about the second one. Other than that, so far since the golf course is open, I've been out 3 times. Bought a new wedge. Used that on Sunday. Was it? Yeah, Sunday. Going pretty well. Hoping to get out more. Father's Day, we got I think we're up to 28 people going golfing with us.
No shit.
A higher number than we usually have. Last year, I think we had 28, and there's still a couple people have yet to respond to me, but we're looking at like 32, 36 golfers.
And you just do the old school foursomes?
Yeah. So at golf courses, it's weird what they're doing. So, they're only allowing one person per cart.
They don't have that many carts. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like first come, first serve, and then once they run out of carts, the rest got to walk. But at some places, if you got to force them, they'll allow 2 people to ride a cart individually, and then the other 2 got to walk. But the places are really like price gouging. Our friend Eddie was looking at into going. He was Saturday night before he booked the place on Sunday. One of Joel's courses, Ron Jaworski, they were charging $103 for.
I'm no golf. I don't know shit about golf. So what's the typical, like? What's Joel's typical rate?
At a typical Joel's course, depending like when you go, but on the weekend it's around $60. So he was charging 103.
That's pretty. That's dirty. You think he?
Yeah. So
you think he? How much of that call is on him? You think? He's a dirtbag.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you know his course gets a lot of action and a lot of love from a lot of players. I mean, like I said, I don't golf, but I know he's all over the radio. People are always. I heard his courses are nice as shit, and I know you back in the day, going back to when we were 16. We had a friend. He was always doing their charity events, getting sponsorships and such.
Yeah, so we
but I guess
we typically go to one of his courses for Father's Day, and we decided this year we're gonna keep it local and support Juniata Golf Course since they're local. North Catholic alum, $40 for us, and then at least afterwards we'll be around we'll be allowed to like sit in the parking lot and have a couple beers, talk.
For sure.
But at these other places, they're basically like forcing you out once you're done.
I wouldn't be shocked if they let you guys, I mean, maybe not grill, but typically you bring a grill up there and be right outside.
Yeah, we probably won't do that. I don't think they'll allow that, but I don't think we're going to be doing much grilling that day.
You think they'll allow 4 people in a cart?
I went up there. I don't know if I should be saying this on it. I'm not going to go into details of when I went up to Juniata.
Are you afraid of the police? Bones.
Yeah.
Well, what about next weekend? That's what you should be afraid about the police coming to your house because we got Memorial Day right up around the fucking corner, and long listeners to the podcast know we take Memorial Day weekend very, very serious in the Sion Fishtown Richmond community.
There will be. I don't think we're gonna have more than 10 people here. I know the old lady and the kids are heading out for the day, so.
Oh, nice. Sounds good.
And we have.
You might end up having more than 10. We don't have to start naming people, but I don't know. Are you coming over?
We got me, you, Beerhead,
Saturday.
Fellow listener Brian White, and Uncle Nicky. I don't know who else we got going.
Shout outs.
Ryan Kearns, Slim's brother.
Yes, the ex-producer, one of the old producers.
Ex-producer of the Slim and Bone Show. Now he's all bait up. He's inside, making Corona babies.
Let's hope not, because if Ryan has a Corona babies, the girlfriend's already fucking stepping on my fucking house space.
Really?
So if he has a Corona baby, nah, not at all. I'm just saying. I've seen this movie.
So before we go into your top 10 favorite classic rock songs of all time.
How long do I was hoping there'd be a clock on this thing besides the typical 24-hour stationary clock we're all used to. What time do we start?
I have no idea. Let me see. 8:45. We got plenty of time. About 8:45. You sent me so around 8:46.
Okay, cool. We probably, like I said, we can probably do like tops 75, 80 minutes. Like I said, we're messing around with all this stuff. I've been out. I do have a few sponsors we're going to have next week, hopefully. We're going to be getting the boys back together, all your favorite guests. You mentioned a couple of them, Uncle Nicky, Whitey, talking to Jake Sproles. We're going to be bringing back Devin.
Former producer.
Another former producer. But there's been a lot. Thank God we don't got to talk about the Sixers because I went from being the biggest Sixer fan to not from it hurting watching.
How fat do you think Joel Embiid is right now?
I don't know, but did you see how Eskin got caught retweeting something old as shit, and then people go nuts? Like, all retweeted something that was or whatever. How someone made they got a picture of Embiid from when he was like at Five Guys or something like 2 years ago and said, "Oh my God, I just saw Embiid breaking quarantine, getting Five Guys or something," and fucking Eskin tweeted, "Da da 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 da." But yeah, we're gonna have plenty of Sixer Travesty podcasts coming in the near future, so we'll skip them for now, as we're in happier moods, even though we're fucking living under communist rule currently. I went to the Walmart today, and that place was crazy. There's like caution tape everywhere. And here's the thing that's true for anyone that likes or doesn't like wearing a mix. You got to admit this. People like Adam, people like myself, they get bigger and they get fatter, believe it or not. And our heads, they don't support these masks. I can wear a K95 whatever mask once, the regular blue ones once, and the strings rip. I have one that had like an adjustable thing. It was fine, but I didn't move.
Speak for yourself.
So now
this will last me all week.
Yeah, those strings break eventually. How many times can you wear one?
What's that? I wear this all week.
And it doesn't break?
No.
You can tell the difference from a fresh one to use one. It sits nice on your
your
nose.
head's fatter than mine, so let's get
Yeah,
that out of the way.
It
Your
is,
beard
but
ain't
you
helping
know,
either.
yeah, I know the beard. It's just like if you want to be an asshole, you can just like have it like sitting on the beard. You know, it's like I'm not even wearing one. It's fucking. It's the whole thing's fucking silly. Talking about being silly, the MLB, if it comes back, certainly is going to look silly without potentially fans, without spitting, without. I mean, say what you want. I grab my balls and I spit, just like every fucking MLB player, and whatever it is, there's something familiar with that. There's going to be no chewing gum.
No
What were
chewing
the other
tobacco.
ones? I thought
No
they outlawed
sunflower
that.
seeds.
I thought they outlawed that years ago, though. Not
What's that?
outlaw, but the tobacco. There's no tobacco products, period, I thought.
Yeah, there is. It doesn't exist. If you're grandfathered in, you're allowed to do it.
Right. Who's the last? Who's the last one?
I guess it's probably like anybody like post like 2015 draft or something like that. I forget when they did it.
Future. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Future quiz or question: who's going to be the last MLB player to chew tobacco? I don't know any current ones. Did Tommy chew it? Was Tommy a big tobacco guy?
Yeah.
And you know what's going to be funny? They can't high five. At least you know they'll get creative with celebrations, which I think will be fun-ish. You know, I mean, for kids. Let's see a few
They're not
good
going to be
ones.
in the. There ain't no celebrate. They ain't let in the dugout.
What do you mean?
They're going to be sitting in the stands.
Oh, one away from each other, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to do it. It's another reason why they
God
shouldn't
damn,
bring
it's
it
gonna be
back.
it's gonna be like watching a fucking game
It's
cast.
stupid.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be baseball. It's still gonna be a baseball game, you know, and especially with all these states, the gambling revenue, baby. There's a lot of it, you know, a lot.
I just seen something today to where, like the NASCAR race, they had as many just as many people betting on it and watching. I think it was just betting as the Daytona 500. And
Yeah, that's fun.
the skins match yesterday had like had more people that bet on that than I think the last golf event that they had or something like that.
That friendly match they had.
Yeah, the skins match.
I know. I wish I was fucking into golf because that seemed kind of cool. You know, just have a little. And they're having the Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady versus Nicholson and Tiger Woods next weekend.
Mickelson and Brady, Tiger and Peyton.
What are those odds?
There's definitely odds. Just give me a minute.
Nicholson. Who won the
Tiger
Thanksgiving Day game? Matt. He did beat Tiger, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, how many people do you think just took Jordan for fucking man money on the golf course? Jordan thinking he was like fucking a semi-pro golf player, probably getting raped.
See. Odds for Mickelson.
And that's honestly, that's the biggest thing. People talking about going back to Jordan again real fast. People were talking about him making fun of guys or whatever. He took these guys, these rookies and these bums money, you know. When he was making fun of these guys to their heart, it was about their money for sure.
Wow.
Whole team was fucking him.
Tiger and Manning. Tiger and Manning minus 200. Mickelson and Brady plus 150.
That's because they're saying Manning can golf, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
I haven't
That's going to be Sunday.
I haven't placed the best since November. Early college basketball. I was getting all pumped up for March Madness, and then we saw what happened. That's
Awful.
usually guaranteed income. You know?
Yeah, this happened at the worst time for
shit.
Vegas. Besides the Super Bowl, that's their biggest moneymaker.
Yeah. But they got the Raiders coming. That's going to save them for a little bit once shit gets normal again.
I honestly don't think they're playing
Hopefully.
football.
Football? You really don't think they're going to play football. And MLB knows they have to be the first to play a 4 major sports so they can get all that gambling. They're going.
Yeah,
I'm with the owners simply because if the players don't take less, how I understand it is if the players don't take less, it's going to be a net zero to open the league up. So there's going to be no league if the players don't take less, and that's that. They won't get paid. There won't be nothing. It will just be next year. So at that point, as a league, why even open up? It's just you know how we have to I mean, I heard Devon Gibbons on 97.5 talk about he had to take a pay cut to stay. I know there's guys I know that work labor jobs that they're doing only 3/4 of their hours. I know people that are bankers that they're only having half staff. This is everywhere people are taking pay cuts. And now the MLB is saying to the players, we will not make money if you guys do not make a pay cut. We won't have a season. And the players are saying, okay. I mean, Blake Snell sounded like a fucking idiot. Bryce Harper.
He did sound like an
Bryce
idiot.
Harper. Oh, me and you talking about. I was so excited for Bryce Harper. He's been coached. Like I guess it's Scott Boras and his dad tell him everything to say to sound right in Philly, and then all of a sudden he hits us with the. It was almost like the clown story. You got the clown story, Bryce back, and that Bryce can go suck a cock. Period.
Mm-hmm. So, you know my position with it. I'm going to side with the players, and they simply just
you're not
can't.
bossing the picket fence. You're allowed to be.
They simply can't give up now because the owners are going to want it next year, and you can't compare us to MLB players with losing jobs, and yeah, there's people. You said people losing money or whatever, but their hours are probably cut, so they're getting paid. They're not losing their pay wage. They're losing their hours. They're getting paid what they're getting paid for how many hours they're working. You can't ask these guys to take a pay cut.
I'm sure there's salary people that take a pay cuts.
Yeah, salary people.
Isn't that what that's just a yearly salary, right?
But these guys get paid by the game. They get game checks.
And then there's going to be half the games. And you're making your own point. There's going to be half the games.
Exactly. It's a prorated salary.
But then the league, even after that, those prorated, they're going to take a net negative on they pay those.
That's full of shit. They're lying.
I don't know. Just got to realize the people that are going to be working those spring training stadiums, or if there's going to be anything else, there's other jobs involved. And the biggest thing is, all right, the players, if they want to get paid their full rate, fine, whatever. Can't argue against it. They want their money. That's fine. But they have to understand that them being stingy and them being greedy is going to make us not have baseball. And that's it. It's nothing else.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be upset if we don't have a baseball season because the players are arguing for their money.
And I want to pay them for this year, right? They don't get paid for this year if there's no baseball.
Yeah.
So who's that help? No one.
Yeah, it does.
Who?
It's saying the players ain't going to move from their line, and it's going to their CBA. They're saying,
do you
And if the owners lose
Do you
enough
believe
money,
this whole thing's about
what's that?
money, right? Yeah. Yes or no?
I think it's mostly about money, and then the other is, I guess, being isolated from
The
their
health reasons.
families and such, because it's going to be like so weird. It's not going to be. They're basically going to the stadium and just playing. Like, they still have like daily lives that they won't be able to live.
What? I don't think so.
Yeah, from what I gather, basically they're going to be like hotel and that's it. They don't want them going anywhere or nothing, because if there's going to be no stop. Like, once they start, it's going to be no stopping if someone tests positive. But if a trend starts, then eventually they will have to stop.
But it seems like they're okay with all the health precautions right now. It seems like it's strictly about the money.
No, that's just the owners. Like, none of this, like, they still got to vote on it. Like, if these players vote on it and they vote to like take a pay cut, okay, then I'm all for it. But as of
Right.
now, you can't give it up.
Right. Well,
Because you
is it
give
gonna go to
it
vote?
up now,
Or
they're going to want more later.
are they going to vote on it? Because I feel like we're getting a lot of big-time players talking about not wanting to play. Guys who made tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars. Some of these guys, Trout, Harper, hundreds of millions of dollars coming. To me, there's even I mentioned like the concession stand workers before, but we have mid-tier players who are working for contracts. You have prospects who didn't get drafted, and for them to say we're only going to work for our prorated salaries, regardless if the league makes money on it or not, seems kind of ridiculous, especially with the sacrifices everyone else in America is making. I mean, none of our lives are normal. And for those of us who are essential, and there's for sure, I mean, if you think a fucking delivery driver is essential, baseball is as essential, especially once you start talking about the economics of bringing back sports.
But also, my thing is, like, everybody's focused on the baseball,
and these
just
guys
like
aren't
the
going to
pure
die.
baseball.
That's the other thing. That's why I don't want to get too much into it, because we have an underlying issue of what the impact of coronavirus is, and baseball and pro sports, people don't want to say they're politicized, but they are, because they have to take the most extreme measures, which living our daily lives we've seen are absurd.
My thing is that this, like, everybody is like killing the players for this, but like, their CBA is totally different than the other three major sports.
Yes,
because of the revenue share and all that. But I think if the NBA season and NHL season were at the same point as MLB, they would be having the same argument going on. But now, since they're at the end of it, they just want the season to end so they can crown their champion. If this was the beginning of their season, we'd be doing the same thing. Everybody's focused on baseball, but it would be the same exact argument for the NHL, NFL, and NBA.
Let's say you got paid, and I came to you and I said you can keep working, or and we
I didn't hear what you said.
year, and I'll see you next year.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said it comes down to this: MLB players can work with the super restrictions and get some money, or they can decide not to work at all and not get paid at all. As a person, what would you do? I'll take any kind of money that's there. I mean, there's more to it. I'm not going to sit here and call these guys heroes, even though that's definitely a valid argument. But as a person, if I was an MLB player, they said, okay, you can make, if you want your prorated salaries, you're going to get 0. So that's off the table, just like Jerry Krause earlier with and Jordan. Pretty much all. You can get something, be icons, we can move forward, or you can say no and get nothing, get zilch for this year. What would you do, Bones? And they can file. You know what happens when you get zilch? They can file for MLB unemployment, where they'll get zilch again because no one feels bad for you because you made millions. I want to say hundreds of millions. Am I right?
But if it was me,
Some money or no money? Some games or no games?
well, I know the majority of Americans right now would rather sit at home and get paid more on unemployment than they do working.
Yep. And that are the ones playing ball. And they're wrong.
But
That's it.
as far as the
You're right.
players,
You're right.
as far as the players, they got like futures to like. What about the guys on 1 year? They got 1 year deals left. For Blake Snell, he said he wanted to play. He's living on. He doesn't have a big contract.
Blake Snell's going to get paid. He's not going to fucking have infectious lungs that's going to cause him not to be able to pitch going forward.
No,
That's
but
not what's happening.
No. If he gets hurt, then what's he going to get? He's not going to get a big contract.
So you think everyone that's on a 1 year deal should just be like, all right, I'd rather just sit out the year and not get paid? That makes no sense.
Yes.
That makes no sense because they can get paid this year. And most of those it depends. I mean, it's case by case.
You can't.
There's guys on 1 year deals that want to play. What about the players on the 1 year deals who are finally starting this year? They're Jason Wirfs. Jason Wirfs, played 2 years for Philly? He took over for Jeff Jenkins. Then he was the fucking starter, and then he was out of here. Pretty much. Maybe out of here.
No, but these guys on the 1 year deal cases, they're already getting they're already losing that money because they lost the games, right?
Yes.
And
then that money's gone.
So then, if the owners want them to take the pay cut and then they get hurt, they're making less money, and then they're not going to get the big contract next year.
Right. Okay. I see. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough decision. And again, I think it's case by case. And here's the thing. I think these guys should consult their doctors, consult their family doctors, their team doctors, and maybe even specialists on coronaviruses or whatever the fuck you can find. And decide yourself if you want to play or not. Players should have that option. I think you should have to, like, if let's friggin' who's Scott Kingery? Scott Kingery got paid before ever playing a baseball game. But let's say like one of these guys didn't want to come back, Trout or Harper. Don't come back. Don't play this year. Don't get paid and don't play. Stay home, and we'll know who you are. That's all. We will. Seriously.
So,
I mean, dudes like Harper, it's just at this point, he's tenured. He's like a professor. You know, he doesn't want to do shit. It's that. I mean, he's not chasing down any all-time stats. You know,
no, but But you got to listen to it this way too.
We forget this because he says all the right things, and he has a little bit of an American blue-collar background. But he's as prepared as a baseball player coming into the league as LeBron James, as Ben Simmons, as those guys were prepared. being that prodigy type. So he knows what to say. He's so coached and so rehearsed. I mean,
Yeah, but
me, I love it, but not now.
Him agreeing with Blake Snell, that's just Harper being the face of the Boris Corporation and him speaking for the guys that have the 1-year deals that are represented by Boris and the rest.
Right.
So you can't knock them on
This is
that.
agent speak. I'm not. If you're in the players' union, I'm not going to knock you. I'm not knocking these guys. Really, I'm just saying the MLB should come back. The players should agree to come back, and the guys that don't want to come back shouldn't have to come back. Why can't we do that? I feel like we're trying to pass fucking legislation here. You know? Is it this hard in the fucking KCFFML to get fucking rules passed?
So
I'll tell you what, it's been Philadelphia's been pretty good under the quarantine. There's traffic's crazy bad still. The traffic is still bad. Like, not everywhere, but all your main intersections, bad. Not as bad, but still bad. There's still the same amount as bad drivers, you know?
So moving on to the NFL draft, and the Eagles with the 21st pick had CeeDee Lamb taken the head by the Cowboys at 17 as he fell. Eagles didn't move. There's reports out there that basically the price was either too high or teams weren't moving, a la the Atlanta Falcons, who were sitting at 16, and possibly the Eagles' trade partner there to take CeeDee Lamb, but they held their spot and they took Jalen Reagor, while Justin Jefferson was on the board. Chris loves the pick of Reagor. I wouldn't say I hate the pick, but I would have took Justin Jefferson. I think Chris had seen a report that the Eagles had to take him Reagor there, or he would have been going by 25 to the Saints. I think that's what pick they had. But I just I was big on the Jefferson stats. He is a speed guy, and he dominated in common opponents. He just outplayed Jalen Reagor, and some would say that's because of the quarterback disparity. Jefferson had Joe Burrow, and Jalen Reagor had, I couldn't even tell you, for TCU. But the one thing you can't blame on the quarterback is the 9 drop passes that Jalen Reagor had this season.
I don't know. I don't like them by drop passes. I have a whole drop pass conspiracy where it's hard to judge a lot of times what's going on. And a lot of times they're unofficial, because I've seen highlights of Reagor fighting through cornerbacks on the balls that he gets his hands on, that he should never got his hands on. I don't know if he's going to be great or not, but in the NFL, speed kills. We've seen that with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, granted, they have a once-in-a-generation quarterback who has the best arm probably ever seen. But look at all their receivers. They're all speed guys. Watkins, they got later on. He's a speed dude. Hill's a crazy speed dude. But besides those guys, and I know you guys all picked him up in fantasy, Pringle. He was fucking running around like a fast-ass dude. You had Robinson. He was running around like another fast guy. Hardman was like everyone loved Hardman this year. So just in general, having guys that can just fly down the field is a great strategy and a great way to go about things. I'm not sure how it's going to happen in practice, but having Reagor Jackson, and even Goodwin or Godwin. Godwin, I'm a little worried about him, but I think Rager and Jackson should be fantastic this season if they stay healthy. And it seems to me that Rager is a guy that can break it. Maybe he has enough. He's not that small. He's 5'11", which isn't Steve Smith. He's not 5'9". He's bigger than Antonio Brown. So maybe he's a guy, break one tackle, and he takes to the house. I don't know the people that hate the pick. I mean, if you wanted Jefferson, fine. Jefferson was a monster this year. There's nothing wrong with Jefferson. To me, it seems that Rager can play two positions to where Jefferson might have been more of just an inside slot guy, despite what he did his sophomore year, I guess it was. He must play a little bit outside. And then with Rager, he brings you the punt ability, so there's still that game break ability. And we're going to see that you can't hate the Rager pick strictly because of even when he doesn't touch the ball, he's going to command eyes 40 yards downfield on him, potentially, and he should. The only way that this is a bad pick is if he literally just can't catch a football, which who knows? I hope to God isn't the case. That's the only thing that's going to kill him. If he comes in here and he drops like 3 balls right away, it's going to be like, no. He's better than that guy.
Howie Roseman, which brings my point, Howie Roseman hasn't really drafted a good wide receiver of late. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside last year. Nelson Aguilar a few years ago.
Aguilar, yeah, Aguilar stunk. Yeah, no, he has a terrible record. He knew. So there's a couple things here. Rager pick tells me that 2 things. The first 2 picks tell me that Howie Roseman is not on no hot seat. He's not going anywhere for at least 2, 3, probably 4 years. There's no, even if they stink this year, because I think he made. This team probably isn't. I think if they get Clowney, maybe they're Super Bowl contenders. Maybe that D-line's an elite unit again. But I'm expecting O-line to be worse. I'm expecting the D-line to be – definitely expecting the D-line to be better. How good that D-line is I think, the division. And hopefully we need a surprise playmaker in our back 7. We have right now potentially 0 playmakers in our back 7. I'm hoping Jalen Milk can be a playmaker. I'm hoping maybe Sidney Rice can be a playmaker. I'm hoping
Sidney Price. Sidney Jones.
Sidney Rice. Remember that guy?
Simeon Rice?
Simeon Rice. Was that his name? No, Sidney Rice. Wasn't he a receiver for Vikings?
Oh, Sidney Rice. Yeah. Number 18.
Yeah. Was he? Yeah. So I'm kind of iffy on the defense, but we'll see what happens. The big things I'm looking for this year on the offense, our offense has to get better. We brought in a few different offensive coaches. We got the guy Marty Morningway. Say what you will, but I believe Marty Morningway is a guy that Doug Peterson looks at as a peer. And say what you will, I believe that Doug Peterson's best trait is his suggestibility. So if he has another peer in the room with him, I believe our game scripts and those slow starts should hopefully go out the window.
Kind of like a Frank Reich?
Kind of, yes. But Morningway, I guess, I'm not sure. Let's see. I mean, Morningway, he's so old. He's been around forever. But they also brought in other guys. I can't forget the one dude's name, but the one dude was the Mississippi State offense coordinator who had Tommy Stevens, who is very much like a Taysom Hill type. He was drafted in the 7th round this year, actually, as Taysom Hill's potential replacement in New Orleans. So we're going to have a different offense. With that being said, the 2nd round pick, it is what it is. He is there for insurance purposes, durability purposes, and anyone who thinks they can rely on Carson Wentz to be healthy for even the next 32 games, hasn't been watching Carson Wentz play football. He is a guy that his best trait is his mobility, is his game-breaking tackle, is his third down playmaking. And if that's not there, he's not the same guy. And if he's the same guy, he increases his already vulnerable self. So you do the math, add in that most teams want young quarterbacks do contracts, and Wentz has 3 years tops.
Okay, so you just brought it up, like with third down, and basically, without saying it, Carson needs weapons, and drafting a quarterback in the second round isn't the weapon that he needs. He doesn't need a backup quarterback. Like, he needs a backup quarterback, but not in the second round.
Right. I'm not
a fan of Jalen Hurts. I think he's just a product of the system in Oklahoma that feast on a non-defensive league conference. And
right.
Hurts showed that he couldn't live up to the competition in the SEC. That's why the first quarterback taken this, or the second quarterback taken this year's draft, took his job.
He didn't. First off, Hurts, I don't think he lost a game that year. If he did, he lost one game. He pretty much had a bad half, and that was 2 years ago. The next year, he comes back, rise to pine like a soldier, and then when called upon against the same team he was benched against the year before, he torches them. He brings Alabama back. So to me, his college career, that's it. Man. Stop. Sorry, there's a helicopter flying by my house.
Yeah, I hear it now.
So it hits my neighborhood than yours? Damn. That was fast. So he was great the year he started for Alabama. Lost his job in the championship game in the second half. Bama won. The next year, he's Nick Foles. He rises to pine. He's no bitching, no moaning. Gets called upon in the SEC championship, and then he beats Georgia, come from behind, monster fourth quarter. He didn't transfer star last year. He was, and then not just a star, but he was a star in the modern system that everyone in the NFL is trying to do. The Lincoln Riley, their whole protege, these option routes. And the truth of the matter is, he runs. Wentz is mobile and those little things, but he doesn't run like Hurts. And Hurts is going to be able to run. So what's going to be interesting, at least for this year, is to see how often Wentz comes off the field, if ever. Because there's going to be guys crying every time if it happens, Hurts comes in. And they might put him in a few times if they think they can, I don't know, do some things. And it seems with our coaching hires, they're trying to do some things.
Time will tell. I just don't get the pick if they believe that Carson Wentz needs weapons.
All right, let's. I think we got you want to give your Eagles record this year, and then I'll do my top 10, and we'll call it a night.
10-6.
8-8.
Division winners. For the reason that all the every coach in the division is a new one. Mike McCarthy in Dallas, Joe Judge in New York, and Ron Rivera in Washington, which I think they might. I think Haskins going to have a better. I think Haskins going to be good. I liked him coming out, and I think with Ron, I think they'll be able to do.
I don't think
the East is going to be as bad as said, but I think the Eagles, it's in their favor that they have a Doug Peterson back and not a new coach.
I think we split. I think we go 3-3 in the division. I think we do get a big win in San Fran on Sunday night, but I think we stumble a few times at home with the Ravens and whatever, you guys, Saints and such. If Hurts ends up starting and the whole team looks different, I want everything to be off the board for me. But as of now, I believe the Eagles are about an 8-8 squad. So, yeah, this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we usually have 3 or 4 big barbecues, parties to look forward to. This year it's going to be a lot of virtual distancing, maybe some I'm going to have a little, like you said, under 10 gathering. I'm going to hopefully maybe, who knows? It's going to be weird. We'll see what happens. But with that, without further ado, do you have your own?
I do.
Okay, let's go back and forth. So these are the top 10. I didn't do the greatest or whatnot. I did the top 10 songs, top 10 non-Beatles classic rock songs I'm most looking forward to / my favorites for Memorial Day weekend / classic rock Philly 500. What did you do? Just your top 10?
Same thing. But I do have Beatles in here. What I tried to do, I tried to keep it to like no repeats in the 10.
Okay.
Like no repeat artist.
Yeah, I don't think I have any repeat artists. All right, start from 10 down.
Number 10 for me is Fortunate Son, CCR.
Ooh, I love that song. I love that song.
Takes me to Forrest Gump.
Yeah, ton of
favorite movie,
movies.
Forrest Gump.
Damn. That we'll see what day that is. That's one that it's been all over the place. I think Fortunate Son usually in the top 100, but that's the last day. Usually a Sunday or Monday song.
Yeah.
All right, my number 10. Had a movie last year. I'm going to go with Elton John, Leave On.
Ooh.
And that song. Wait, what's up, Ian? My dog's going crazy right now. I don't know.
She hears my voice. She hasn't seen me in a while.
1 second. Yeah, dude, she had this fucking eyeball infection, dude.
Eyeball infection.
Yeah, they get cherry eye. So let's do this fast. It was my dog's now on my lap.
All right. My number 9, which is usually definitely a Monday song. Usually around noon, a little afternoon. Fat Bottom Girls, Queen.
Ooh. That's a good one. I'm shocked you didn't go a different Queen song, but like you said, personal touch. My number 9 is kind of in the same fun rock and roll song. I got Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good.
Coming at number 8, Come Sail Away by Styx.
Oh, I almost put that on mine. I'm happy I didn't. Dude, these French bulldogs, so they get so fucked up.
Better watch, man. She don't eat you like
I saw
that lady.
No, they get cherry-eyed, dude, and it's like
looking like Michael Jordan. All right, what's your next one? All right, let's run these down because I got to deal with this fucking bullshit. You're up.
Number 8 is Chicago, questions 67 and 68.
Wow. I got a Chicago song in here. I got a Chicago song in mind. But not quite yet. Coming in number 7, I probably could have had this artist on here for a few songs. As he's pretty good in the classic rock world and all-around music itself. Captain Jack, Billy Joel.
Ooh, that's a classic Philly song, too. They say like only plays in Philly and shit. That's awesome. That's a good one. My number 7. This is one I hope comes on right before they go off for the end of the night. So when it's dark out and some people are in bed, hopefully. The Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin.
Ooh,
Love that one when that
that's
comes
a
on.
good song.
I know a hippie, my aunt. She's a hippie, and she used to say, older generations had Shakespeare. My generation had the Moody Blues.
So,
She now lives on a fucking farm.
Chris just had a Chicago song, and I got mine coming in here, number 6. 25 or 624.
Yeah. And in Chicago, I just picked my favorite, and that was my favorite. So it is what it is. Ooh, my number 6, Little Cosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes comes in at my number 6.
This one, I'm not sure if it's a Sunday song, maybe a Saturday, not sure. But I'm going to go Jet Airliner, Steve Miller Band.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Damn. All right, top 5. Was that your number 5 or your number 6? All right, so now we're into our top 5. My
That
top
was
5.
my number 5.
Okay, so that was number 5.
Yeah.
Damn, Steve Miller. I'm going White Room by Cream.
Ooh.
Got some Clapton, and that might not be the last of Clapton that we see on my top 5. Might not be the last of him. He's back.
So next one is I think it's Sunday song. I think it should. I don't know if it's a Monday song or not. Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel.
Ooh. That's gonna be a Monday song. That's a top 100. It depends how far they get into the 100. My number 4, this I believe is a Monday song. Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
And then my last 3 are all Monday songs.
Okay,
late Monday songs. Coming to number 3, More Than a Feeling by Boston.
Ooh. That's a good song. It might be a little high for me, but it's a good song. It's not one of my personal favorites. And here's my number 3 is probably not one of your personal favorites. Maybe it is. Peter Frampton, Do You Feel Like We Do?
I'm gonna give that one a listen.
You know when you hear it.
Yep.
Woke up this morning with a wine glass in my hand. Whose wine? What wine? Where the hell did I find?
Coming in number 2, and this is definitely in there in the running for top 5. Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd.
Oh, I have no Floyd on mine. I was thinking about putting money on mine, and I didn't do it. But mine's definitely a Monday song. Maybe not top 10 or should be top 25, top 30, maybe. The Weight by The Band.
Yeah, that's a Monday song. Definitely Monday song.
Love that song.
And coming to number 1, Chris will get a huge direction over this. It is Imagine by the Beatles.
Ooh. Imagine's by John Lennon, though.
John Lennon, same shit.
Yeah, no. I was going to throw on a couple solo Beatle songs, but in good taste, I didn't. My number 1, The Guitar God's Back. I got Layla.
Oh, yeah.
That opening riff, yeah, dude, that shit's the best, right? The riff, the fucking piano, dude. Fucking love it. Can't wait for this weekend. Adios. We'll be seeing you guys weekly. We got all types of shit coming. Make sure you follow the Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchats, not Snapchats, but the Facebook, Instagram, the Twitter accounts. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. So just stay tuned and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend and try to get back close to normal as possible.
If you want to get an ad in, just send it to one of our social media accounts.
Yeah, it'll be obvious. So,
See you next week. Most likely Tuesday.